Hey kids, it's Mrs. Davis here in my cozy learning corner. I'm glad that you decided to join me because you know it's the month of March and we are definitely reading a lot of really great Dr. Seuss stories as well as other stories too. But we're focusing on some Seuss stories because March 2nd was Dr. Seuss's 118th birthday. So in our last session together, we were reviewing about some trademark things to look for if you want to make sure it is a Dr. Seuss book. Let's see if you can recall those. Remember that we're spying for crazy, fuzzy characters. A lot of them had big bellies, rhyming words, zany, wild stories that couldn't really happen, made up words. You know, if he needed to make them up like zizzer, zazzer, zuzz, he just did that. And then, you know, those crazy machines with gears, hooks, arms, and legs. What about the U-shaped pupils? If he was illustrating, his characters had that trademark U-shaped horseshoe-shaped pupil. So if you've been checking out those Dr. Seuss books, you might have been spying for those things. Today I'm going to read probably, I would say, my second favorite story that Dr. Seuss wrote. There's so many, I just always can't decide what my second and third is, but this one is definitely one that if I'm going to read a story to my class or my students, it's one that I always want to share with them. So I'm going to share it with you. Before I do that, I do want to give you a few fun facts about Dr. Seuss. I have this little newspaper and it says, Dr. Seuss and the Cat in the Hat. Let's get to know the man that wrote the book, The Cat in the Hat. So we've been learning all things Dr. Seuss. There's a few really cool facts about Dr. Seuss that I wanted to share with you and some real photos. So I'm going to read this section. It says Dr. Seuss was born on March 2nd, 1904. We knew that. His parents didn't name him Dr. Seuss. Of course, when you're an author, you might pick a fun name like Dr. Seuss did. They named him Theodore Seuss Geisel. People called him Ted. And he was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. And there is a map that shows where he was born. Look at this real photograph. That's Dr. Theodore Seuss Geisel. That's his dad. And this is him when he was a little boy. Isn't that cute? Yes, Dr. Seuss was actually a small child at one time. And that's his sister Marnie. Pretty cool. Now, here's something that I think is very interesting. A fun fact. Well, it's not a fact, but it's something I'm thinking about. These two characters right here, have you seen them before? Yeah, they're in the story The Cat in the Hat. Now look at this brother and sister. I wonder if when Dr. Seuss drew those characters in the story The Cat in the Hat, if he was thinking about his sister Marnie, and maybe this is him when he was little. What do you think? I always think about that when I'm reading The Cat in the Hat because I saw this fact and saw this picture and his sister, and I just wonder, what do you think? Now, here's another photo of Ted when he was older, and that's his sister, and this is his friend. He's right here. And it says, as Ted grew up, he liked to draw and write. In college, Ted drew cartoons. Sometimes he wrote his middle name, Seuss, on his work. So it started in college. He later added doctor to make himself sound important. And hey, if you're writing and you want to create some interesting things to set you apart from other authors, why not create a really interesting name? Dr. Seuss. I thought it would be fun to share those little facts with you and show you some real photographs of Dr. Seuss. Now, before I read, let me just share with you, this is Dr. Seuss's first book that he published, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. This is one that was my children's, and of course, it's very loved and used. This is the one that they found some illustrations and some words and put this together after Dr. Seuss passed away, I think in 2015. What pet should I get? When I found out that this was being published, I ran right out and got it. So this is a newer book. Of course, his most famous book, everyone knows Dr. Seuss by this, The Cat in the Hat. I know you've probably heard this many times or even seen a movie with that name. This one is very popular, and this is one of my favorites too. Green Eggs and Ham. That Sam I Am. I thought I had my Green Eggs and Ham shirt, so I was going to show you that, but I was wearing that in the last video. Okay, final two books before I read. You might not have heard of these. The Tooth Book. Have you heard of that one? That's not a really popular book that you would think Dr. Seuss wrote, and this is one that he did not illustrate, because if you look really close, you don't see in these characters those U-shaped pupils. Someone else illustrated this for Dr. Seuss. This one's a pretty good one. It's not one I knew about until recently. Dr. Seuss's What Was I Scared Of? And this is a really funny, interesting story. Kind of creepy, but not. And if you check out my YouTube channel, I'm reading this story in my cozy tent, acting like I'm camping out, reading a good book. So check this one out, because I'm actually reading this one. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to read to you my second favorite book. This is a great rhyming book. Of course, Dr. Seuss is famous for his rhymes, but there are definitely rhymes all through on every page. So let's sit back and enjoy. I want you to listen for the words that rhyme. And as I'm reading and you're enjoying the story, see if you can hear those rhyming words and say them out loud as I read each page. Here we go. There's a Wocket in my pocket by Dr. Seuss. And even before the story starts, we've already got those rhyming crazy characters. And a Findo in my window and a Nookcase in my bookcase. Could be creepy. There's a Wocket in my pocket by Dr. Seuss. Did you ever have the feeling there's a wasket in your basket? Can you hear the rhyme? Wasket, basket. Or a Nero in your bureau. Creepy. Or a Wazit in your closet. Sometimes I feel quite certain there's a jertin in the curtain. Sometimes I have the feeling there's a slock behind the clock. And that Zelf up on the shelf, I have talked to him myself. Oh yeah, self and shelf rhyme. That's the kind of house I live in. There's a nink in the sink. That might be kind of fun. And a zamp in the lamp. And they're rather nice, I think. Would you think it was nice to have all those creepy creatures hanging around your house? This character does. Some of them are very friendly, like the yacht in the pot. But that yodel in the bottle, some are friendly, some are not. I wouldn't like that. I like the Zabel on the table and the Gare under the chair. Zabel, table. They rhyme. And Gare and chair. Oh, here's a funny character. I kind of like that one. But the Bofa on the sofa, that's what that's called. Well, I wish he wasn't there. All the nut boards in the cupboards, they're good fun to have about. But the toothbrush on my toothbrush, ooh, him I could do without. Nooth, tooth, grush, brush. More rhyming words. I love it. Ooh, darkness. Something's under the rug. The only one I'm really scared of is that vug under the rug. And the Gwimney up the chimney, I don't like him not at all. It makes me sort of nervous when the Zal shoots down the hall. Zal, hall. They rhyme. Can you think of another word that rhymes with Zal and hall? Oh yeah, all, mall, wall. Wow, this rhyming thing is pretty fun. But the yeps on the steps, they're great fun to have around. You definitely never get bored in this house, right? And so are many, many other friends that I have found. Like I have to take a deep breath for this because I've got to do a lot of rhyming here. Like the teller and the neller and the geller and the deller and the beller and the weller and the zeller in the cellar. You know, a cellar is a basement. It's an underground place in your house where you store things. Look at that stack of rhyming words. Teller, neller, geller, deller, beller, weller, zeller, cellar. Woo, you have to take a deep breath to read all this. And the geeling on the ceiling and the zower in my shower. And the Zillow on my pillow. Wait a minute. I'm not sharing my pillow with a Zillow. Are you? I don't care. If you don't believe it, that's the kind of house I live in, and I hope we never leave it. I love that story because it has so many rhyming words. It's really fun to read. And, you know, I like the fact that at the end, that this character is confident. They love the space they live in. It might not be perfect. There might be weird things. House is not, you know, normal, but he's happy because it's his space and he's learned to adjust to it. I like that. Good ending to that funny rhyming story. What'd you think? Did you like this one? Had you ever heard of There's a Wocket in My Pocket? Pretty cool. All right. I am going to leave you, and I will again pick up soon another good Dr. Seuss book to share with you. Please share with me in the comments section your favorite Dr. Seuss book or a Dr. Seuss book that you would like me to read. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Happy Place to Grow. Scroll down some of my videos. I have a really cool reading of What Was I Scared Of? I'm sitting in my tent space. It's a good read. You'll enjoy it. All right, until our next time together, as always, keep on reading, keep on rhyming. Hey, maybe you want to sit down for just a minute and see if you can make up some rhyming words. That would be fun and challenging. Keep on reading, keep on rhyming, and until our next story time together, as always, have a good one.